On this recording, I use an old Gibson L2, and it just has this kind of clunky country, like you may have found it at Boo Boo's pawn shop on Piney Grove Church Road or something, and so it kind of has this like essence. And Larry was playing the upright bass, which literally he got an upright bass for this recording, and then it sounded so hillbilly when we finished it that I was like, that needs some banjo, man. So I put some banjo on it. ¿Y qué más hicimos? Eso es todo, ¿no?
Sí.
Bajo, guitarra y banjo. Yeah, I added the banjo on later. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one. It's very, very Larry and Joe for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party, your weekly musical happy hour where musicians pick an album from their back catalog and tell the stories behind their favorite tracks in front of a live online audience.
This week, we talk with Latingrass duo Larry and Joe. We revisit their debut album, Nuevo South Train, talk about working with jazz producer Charlie Hunter, and channeling some of that new date energy. So pour a beverage, grab a snack, and kick back as we listen to music together here on the Back Catalog Listening Party, where it's always Friday and old albums never sounded better. Happy Friday!
Happy Friday!
Happy Friday! Happy Friday! Feliz Viernes!
And welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host, apologizing in advance for the scratchy voice.
It is the time of year for head colds and whatnot. And joining us today for the Back Catalog Listening Party from Kannapolis, North Carolina, Larry and Joe.
Woo! Thanks for having us on.
So excited.
We're so excited, and folks are excited to be here. We have folks joining the party early from all over, from North Carolina, Connecticut. Kayla joining us saying Yahoo. Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Christy, Mars and Erickson's coming in from Cambridge, Minnesota with bebidas varias, various drinks. And Rebecca, saludos de Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
All right.
And Joe from Minneapolis having a Bell's Two-Hearted IPA. All right.
Nice. Welcome.
And welcome to the party and bienvenidos. And if you are tuned in, if this is your first time joining us for a Back Catalog Listening Party live taping, tell us where you are tuned in from. If you're enjoying a beverage or a snack, we treat this as our weekly musical happy hour, and we like to make every day feel like a Friday. So
that's right.
Tell us what you're enjoying. And Tony, what are you enjoying tonight?
Well, a little under the weather. So I found a delicious NA IPA here from the Athletic Brewery. It's their Free Wave Hazy IPA.
Nice. And is that in a Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass?
Yes, Ellen, it is in my Back Catalog Listening Party pint glass.
Excellent. And Larry and Joe, do you have any beverages or snacks happening where you're at?
Yes, we're having a Yogi Kava stress relief tea.
Oh, nice.
We could all use a little stress relief, so that sounds good to me.
How about you, Ellen? Are you partaking?
Yes. Fancy wine from a bottle.
Hey, the bottle this week.
Yep. No box this week. We're breaking out the good stuff for Larry and Joe. So we're very excited to be here. Cheers to all of you. And it looks like someone's joining us from Tucson. So keep it coming. Tell us where you're tuned in from. And this is meant to be an interactive listening party. And if you have questions or comments as we go today, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll get to as many questions as we can. But mainly it's all about the music and chatting with Larry and Joe. And we're really excited to have them here. I met Larry and Joe recently when they were in Minneapolis playing at the Cedar Cultural Center, and very excited to have them on the show. I know they're very busy touring, and they're in a residency right now teaching high school students and whatnot. But Larry and Joe, for folks who are maybe less familiar with your music, maybe you can give a brief origin story, 2-minute origin story of where you grew up and how you started making music together.
Sure thing. And I'll do some simultaneous interpretation for Larry. ¿De dónde eres y cómo te iniciaste como músico?
Bueno, yo soy de Venezuela, del oriente del país.
I'm from Venezuela, from the eastern part of the country.
Exactamente del estado Monagas, del pueblo de Punta de Mata.
The state of Monagas, and from a town called Punta de Mata. ¿Y cómo te iniciaste?
Me inicié como músico a los 11 años, que entré a la Casa de la Cultura a hacer estudios del cuatro, mi primer instrumento.
And I started playing music at a municipal cultural center. I started playing the cuatro at age 11. And so that's how Larry got started. I'm from the North Carolina Piedmont, from Winston-Salem, though I now live in Durham. And I play bluegrass and old-time music, Appalachian string band music. But I lived outside of the States for 14 years, 10 of which I spent in Buenos Aires. And in that time, I started combining Appalachian and Latin American folk music. And Larry, 9 years ago, wound up in Raleigh, North Carolina, and has been studying our musical traditions since he's been living here. And so we kind of came together 3 years and change ago to combine our respective folk traditions and everything else we like to dabble in into a weird hodgepodge. That's what Larry and Joe is.
Excellent.
Excellent. And I'm sure as we go throughout the show today, we'll talk about some of the various instruments you play, because if anyone has seen Larry and Joe live, you know that they don't just play one or two instruments. There's a lot happening with the music. So we'll get to all of that. But just want to welcome Rodney and Keko to the party. And Keko says, hello from Oak Hill, New York. We look forward to seeing you at the Gray Fox Festival in Oak Hill this summer. At Gray Fox, a great festival. And yeah, definitely get out to check out Larry and Joe, which you'll want to do after hearing this music tonight. So
yeah, we're excited about that. Oh, there's our buddy Rodney Derrick from Durham. We got a Durhamite.
All right. Excellent.
Rodney.
Hallelujah. And well, let's get some music. What do you think?
I think so.
So this first of all, I should say, we are revisiting your 2023 release, Nuevo South Train. So New South Train. And we're going to be playing different tracks that Larry and Joe have selected from the album to feature. And we're going to listen to songs, talk about them. And this first one you picked to feature is, I don't know how, do you pronounce it in the Spanish or the English pronunciation?
In the Spanish, we call it Gabanjo.
Gabanjo. Okay.
Yeah, because ¿qué es un gabán? Do you want to know about what a gabán is?
Yes.
Bueno, el gabán es un ave de Venezuela.
So it's a bird from Venezuela. It's translated as wood stork.
Pero también es un ritmo de la música llanera.
But it's also a rhythm within the música llanera style, which is the music of el llano, the plains region shared between Venezuela and Colombia.
Y en ese querer tocar el gabano con arpa y banjo.
And so we wanted to do a gabán with the harp and the banjo, which are our principal instruments. And it made a lot of sense. Le dimos el título.
Ahí nació el título de Gabanjo.
And that's where the little dad joke sort of title came from. Instead of gabán, it's now a gabanjo.
I love it. I love it. And I can't think of a better way to kick off our hour here with Larry and Joe. Gabanjo here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
All right. Laurie and Joe
Amazing.
here on the back catalog listening party with Gabanjo from their 2023 album Nuevo South Train, which we are revisiting today with Laurie and Joe joining us live from North Carolina. Yeah, Alinda just says, wow. I mean, yes, I agree with that sentiment. One thing I was struck with, you mentioned it was a banjo and harp, but how lively it was, and I was curious. You said it was sort of based on this bird, like a wood stork. You were saying, is this a bird that has what kind of reputation does this bird have? Is it like a pigeon, or is it like a gull or an owl? Like, is it the bird that you're like, ah, that stupid bird won't go away, or is it, oh, beautiful bird hanging out by my window?
¿Qué clase de pájaro qué clase de ave es el gabán? Es el tipo de pájaro que vos decís, ay, qué pesado que está por acá hinchando la bola. O es un pájaro que más bien, ay, qué lindo. ¿Qué produce?
Bueno, en el llano es un ave que hay mucho.
There's a lot of these birds in the region El Llano, in the grassland.
Sí, y a la gente le causa como esa cosquilla, como
repugnancia.
Es bonito, es un ave.
No, bonito.
Sí, un ave, y es un ave grandecita.
Al ser emblemático. Es chiquitico.
No, no es chiquitico, es grandecito.
So it's a larger bird, and I think it's kind of like emblematic of El Llano. So people are like, oh, what a beautiful bird.
And
Nice.
It's like it reminds them of themselves.
Gotcha. It's sort of like their symbol, their mascot, sort of.
Es como ponerle que es su lema, su mascota, el símbolo que les representa.
Uno de tantos.
Yeah, one of many, but yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, and I can't let this Keiko Jones. I can't let the comments go without further elaborate. I'm hoping to use some cachapas at the festival. Nos va a hacer cachapas in Grey Folks. This is good news. That's a happy man. We will take you up on that offer.
I was going to say,
Excellent.
is Cachapas, is that the one that you have a song about? Am I right in remembering that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's coming later in this podcast.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Awesome. We're making the food connections here too.
Yeah.
Totally.
Wonderful.
I love it. Well, I was really struck by not only just the virtuosic playing that you guys were doing, but the kind of the rhythms and the things that were happening when the other person was kind of taking the lead. And I just would love to hear. I mean, it's such an interesting combination, banjo and harp. It reminded me a lot of like piano and banjo. I've heard that. I was thinking of that Bela and Chick Corea record. There's the rhythms have to be kind of it needs to keep going, obviously. And I'm just curious of like if this is stuff that you guys work out or just kind of naturally just jamming behind each other.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and translate all that to Larry. Le suena más tipo como la fusión del piano con el banjo, lo que hicieron Bela y Chick Corea. Le suena algo parecido a eso. Y notó la diversidad de ritmos y si es algo que nosotros planeamos. Y le quiero decir que cuando hicimos esa grabación fue muy temprana en esta carrera y yo me siento en pelotas escuchándome ahí y digo, wow, qué poco que sabe ese tipo. Lo voy a decir eso después que tú digas más. Okay? So upon listening to that, like we got that album done 8 months into having met each other and working on this music. We were in the studio and I guess in August. We met in December of 2021. So not much lead time. And it's amazing how the album turned out wow. For sure. But when I listen back, I only hear, of course, like, oh, I was still getting those rhythms under my belt. And I listened to the banjo accompaniment of the harp. Yo escucho el acompañamiento ahí, digo, oh, no. Like I hear all of the mistakes that I was doing. Of course, Larry's incredible at his folk music, so he was very patient with me. Me tenía mucha paciencia. And I feel like now we can take Gabanjo and really, but it is a testament to the effort that we put in those 8 months upon meeting each other and learning each other's folk music tradition. Like, it sounds pretty good. And yes, awesome. It's pretty mapped out, but there are improvisational sections, but the sections were defined. So I would say um, that's all I have to say. ¿Qué dices tú escuchando esa grabación?
Bueno, mira, yo le tengo mucho cariño a esa grabación porque fue algo muy arbitrario y en muy corto tiempo.
I loved that recording a lot because it was very arbitrary. We did it in such a short amount of time.
Y el trabajo que hicimos es muy real.
And the work that we did was very earnest.
No hay no hubieron esos patrones como que vamos a cortar aquí, vamos a pegar acá,
No, it wasn't. We didn't like cut the we did this live, basically, is what he's saying. We didn't do it by section and then piece it all together. It's a live album. That's how our producer Charlie Hunter wanted us to do it. And so it's like an authentic representation of what we were doing at that time. Though we did, like in other songs, add more instrumentation on top of it. In that particular song, it's just banjo and harp.
Pero yo aprecio mucho el trabajo que hizo Joe, aunque él a veces dice que le parece un poco como que estábamos muy nuevos, pero a mí me parece que es un gran trabajo que él hizo porque era un ritmo totalmente nuevo para él.
Yeah, he's saying he appreciates the hard work that I did on something that was completely new to me. So he still appreciates that when he hears it.
Y tiene mucha esencia propia de nosotros.
And it has a lot of our essence in it. You can still hear us as we are. But since that time, desde aquel momento hemos tocado como 400 fechas.
Sí.
Yeah, but since that time, we've played like 400 gigs. So, of course,
It's evolved.
It has evolved. There's a lot more nuance. Hay mucho más matiz.
En Venezuela diríamos, en ese momento estábamos en pañales.
Yeah, we were still in diapers at that time.
I was going to say
As a
it's like
duo.
looking at photos from like first dates or something, you know, of a relationship.
Yeah, es como una foto de la primera cita. o algo así.
But it's kind of
Right.
got that new date energy, though,
Yeah,
too. Like,
exactly.
you can
Tiene
feel
esa
it.
energía de la primera cita.
Well, folks
funny.
are feeling the love and loving the music. And yeah, see?
Oh, that's Larry's wife. Dice que te quiere.
Yo también te amo.
and then also she says Joe is awesome too. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you, Atais.
The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Supporting the show with small and large donations every month, this committed group of music lovers keep the party going and enjoy special perks like getting first look at our upcoming guests and invitations to private after parties and live stream performances with the artists. If you'd like to learn how you can become a patron of the show, please visit patreon.com/backcataloglisteningparty.
I'm curious. We're gonna hop into the music in a second here, but I'm curious about the harp that you play, Larry. Like, is it different from like a concert harp that someone would see, or then there's Celtic harps. There's all these different kinds of harps. How many strings is it? And it's pretty large, pretty good size.
¿Quieres saber la clasificación de tu arpa? ¿Cuántas cuerdas tiene? Si es diferente de la arpa celta o de la clásica.
Sí, mi arpa es lo que llamamos nosotros el arpa llanera.
So my harp is what we call the llanera harp, the harp of the Plains region.
El patrón normal del arpa llanera son de 32 cuerdas.
And normally this folk harp has 32 strings.
Pero muy arbitrariamente siempre yo busco que el instrumento esté un poco más adelantado y mandé a hacerla de 33.
And so Larry's always very arbitrarily trying to have a more progressive instrument. So he got them to build him a 33 string harp.
All right.
He wanted that low.
Y con el sistema de levers.
And with a lever system. So les voy a dar un poco de contexto.
Que es primera vez que tenía levers.
Claro, acá. So a little backstory. The Venezuelan folk harp, old-time musicians will relate to this, Appalachian old-time musicians, because the Venezuelan folk harp, it's a modal instrument. So you would tune it a certain way, and then you'd play a whole slew of tunes in that tuning. And then when you wanted to change keys, the harpist would manually change the mode of the instrument, and then you do a different set of keys for a different vocalist or whatever in a jam. So it's kind of like old-time like cross tunings alternate tunings on the instruments. You probably you wouldn't go through all that tuning just for one song. You play a slew of them, and Venezuelans do the same thing. But they have since incorporated a lever system, which was adopted from French, de la música clásica, de los franceses, ¿verdad?
Sí.
From French classical harp, and it allows you to change the pitch of each string up or down a half step. So he can change the mode of his instrument very easily now. And sometimes he even does it mid song
like
to accommodate
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, totally. I mean, it's actually the same principle because they're stoppers, you know? So it's like a key tuner on a banjo. We're getting very banjo.
Sorry about that,
We're
folks. Yeah,
apologize. Filter everything through a banjo.
Oh, we're going to geek out about the harps, the banjos, all of it.
That is so fascinating. Thank you for sharing that about the harp. And I feel like that's just knowing that it's not just us retuning all the time too. So.
Yeah.
No. There's other folk traditions with annoying musicians like us.
We'll talk more about the trials of tuning all your acoustic instruments in a little bit, but right now we want more music. And Nuevo South Train, the title track to the record that we are revisiting today. Is there anything you want to say about this track before we take a listen?
We really like this one. Nos gusta esta canción. ¿Por qué?
Nuevo South Train es una creación muy auténtica de nosotros.
Yeah, this is a very authentic creation from the two of us. You know?
Cuando yo comienzo a crear, me dice, mira, estoy haciendo esto, ¿con qué lo podemos combinar?
And when I started creating the song, I showed him what I was doing, and I said, what could we combine this with? And
siendo muy sincero, echamos a volar la imaginación y a tocar.
Yeah, and basically we just let our imaginations fly, and we came up with this. But the song's weird. There's a lot of metric modulation. It goes between 6/8 and 4/4. So the 6/8 component would be reminiscent of a lot of Latin American folk genres like Mexican folk music or gaita venezolana from Venezuela. There's cumbia influences. There's salsa, what he does on the bass. I play straight up like it's in the key of B. So it's kind of I play basically out of a B7 position the entire time. So it's like, very Mixolydian, very blues in a way. But I'm flat picking the guitar. On this recording, I use an old Gibson L2, and it just has this kind of clunky country. Like you may have found it. At Boo Boo's pawn shop on Piney Grove Church Road or something, and so it kind of has this like essence. And Larry was playing the upright bass, which literally he got an upright bass for this recording, and then it sounded so hillbilly when we finished it that I was like, that needs some banjo, man. So I put some banjo on it. ¿Y qué más hicimos? Eso es todo, ¿no?
Sí.
Bajo, guitarra y banjo. Yeah, I added the banjo on later because I was just and I did a little percussive chop on the fiddle too. He's right about that. So yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one. It's very, very Larry and Joe for sure.
Excellent. All right, well, let's give it a spin. Larry and Joe, Nuevo South Train here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
That Nuevo South Train's chugging. It's chugging on around the bend. So just hop on board and you sure to praise the Lord, and you're bound to find a friend or two. Bien a lo lejos escucho sonido que hace brincar a mi alma. Bien grande rechino chuchu. Chuchu. Ese trencito que nos llevará por caminos de gran aventura. Naguará ya está llegando el tren Nuevo Sur. Nuevo South Train pulling into the station. All aboard. Todos a bordo. That Nuevo South Train chugging. It's chugging on around the bend. So saddle up your fear and send your friends super near and let your words disappear despite a lack of engineers. Pick this baby into gear. Chug a lugger down the yellow brick way. Hey, hey. ¿Y cómo llama un vaquero a su hija? ¡Hija! Todo el ritmo que llevamos los pasajeros explota enseguida. Vamos viajando con un triqui triqui pum pum triqui triqui pum pum triqui triqui pum pum triqui triqui pum pum triqui triqui pum pum. Pinche pendejo no quiere subirse a gozar y nos ve con despecho. Ay, pobrecito que quiere vivir sin sazón, sin corazón. ¡Súbete, pendejo! That Nuevo South Train chugging. It's chugging on around the bend. So let your jello get jiggy, baby. It ain't no biggie. Buy some snack, crazy wiggly. No need to pinch pennies. Pretty ponies on a plenty. They're chinny, 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 chinny. Just a silly bunch of ninnies. Rooster, Ralph, and Hazel Penny. Make a boxcar spinning. Wings and flapping with the barnyard friends. Picking grit out in the big pen. Cornfield. Último llamado. Se va, se va, se va. On that Nuevo South
Nice.
That was Larry and Joe with Nuevo South Train, and I was still on board the train. That's where I was. I had gotten on board. I was on board.
Yeah, I was grinning the entire time on the train.
And Joe says taking the Rock Island line to a higher level, and Chris says, "Okay, there are a few things going on in that song. Yeah, just a few." And Jocelyn says, "So much fun," and Steve, "Ooh, that's brilliant."
Yes.
And I definitely agree with that. And I can't imagine that tune without the banjo. It's so interesting you added that later, Joe, because it's like, the banjo just, keeps that train moving and speeds it up in a good way.
We get the job done live with guitar
right.
and bass and animal sounds and dancing and hooting and hollering, But it's it added something for sure. It gives it that sort of nice veneer of rust and I don't know, barnyard animal excrement.
Excrement. I now, is this one that you guys like sat down and said, let's write a song together? How does the writing happen with you two?
Well, in this particular incident, I wrote the song, but then I took it to Larry and we workshopped it together, and it took on new life. So it wouldn't have been what it ended up being without the collaboration. But I had this concept of a song that just did a lot of metric modulation the entire time. And what's really cool is we were produced by Charlie Hunter on this album, and he helped us figure out how to, I guess, more eloquently approach the sections where the rhythm modulated. Nos ayudó Charlie en las modulaciones métricas de cómo aceptarnos. I can't even remember exactly what the advice was, but I remember having these like he's definitely Charlie's a super genius of music.
Like the Charlie Hunter.
The Charlie Hunter, he produced that album. So we got a lot of help getting it together and like ironing it out. And he was tough on us in the right way. You know, like he's like, we need to work on this, and I would approach this like this. So yeah, it was a rare opportunity for sure.
So with as it was kind of a live recording, so was his production help and advice and stuff like more arrangement-y, or like just what
It was, we did
produce it in that
several,
way?
we did a bunch of sessions with him. Like, ¿cuántas sesiones hicimos con Charlie? Como 5 o 6.
No,
Más, menos,
menos.
4.
Hicimos 4.
Yeah, I'm remembering like 5. I think Larry's saying 4 sessions that we like, long sessions where he would kind of like critique and give advice. And then in the studio, he was on tour. You know, he's Charlie Hunter, so he's out doing the Charlie Hunter thing. But we did get to sit with him and sort of just get his observations, and then he would help with very technical things like, you know, attack, how picking patterns, bowing patterns. You know, he'd send me back to the drawing board to listen to, like, you know, for certain songs that I have to go listen to Eddie Palmieri for 5 hours or stuff. You know,
Wow.
he gave really good production.
homework.
Yeah, like old school, like jazz, like jazz man kind of Oakland. Like,
Nice.
What you need to do is this, and I'm like, yes, sir. And try my best. So
that's great. And you said that you started with you know, recording with guitar, and was Larry playing bass,
Bass,
for
yep.
that first track, and then you added the other instruments later.
right, added the and we remember wrong. There's no fiddle chop on that specific song. That was on a different song we did on the second album. That's just banjo's the only thing we added to that track. We sang and played on banjo. I'm sorry, on guitar and bass. We did that live, and then I patched banjo. That's it.
Wow. You know, you said this was 8 months after you met.
Yes.
Had you gotten these songs out and road tested them and been playing out with them, or was this
barely.
studio?
No,
wow.
It was mostly like we just got it for the studio. We did have, tocamos algún que otra fecha llegando a la grabación, pero no te, como cuántas fechas hicimos, ¿no?
No eran muchas.
Unas 10, 12.
Unas 10.
Like, you know, maybe a dozen gigs. Like, Larry was still working construction full time, and I was on the road with other projects. And we didn't expect to start this duo when we met, but then we're like, okay, let's make a run of it. And so we were hustling to get it together. And he would pull, you know, after a 12-hour day, he would work into the night, and I would drive like from Ohio so I could be in Durham for a few days so we could keep working. We really, really worked hard to find time to make the album special, valuable. Wow. Yeah, we sacrificed a lot to get to that point, and so did our manager Kayla, who is you know, honestly one of the great forces behind helping us reach deadlines in time. She helped push this through, and the coordination, you know, with the producer and the guy that and the tech Jason Richmond, who recorded this, and you know. So it was a hectic 8 months. We were getting together.
Wow.
And then, of course, you know, Atais was always there to help, you know, when Larry couldn't be at the house, which is the lot of a touring musician, you know, she was very you know, behind the movement. It takes a whole community behind us to be able to do what we do.
Yeah.
So
it flash.
Yeah, and it was. We also we recorded the whole album in ¿cuántos días hicimos el disco? 3 days. We went in and we did it all in 3 days.
3 días.
Wow.
That was insane.
Wow.
Impressive.
Well, it takes clearly a village to make a record like this, and so much, again, time and energy spent making it, which you can hear in these beautiful tunes. And it's hard to believe this is a debut effort from anyone. And if you are liking what you're hearing, we recommend you buy it because, again, so many of these albums, when people put out music, they put so much time and energy and money and soul and time away from their families to make them. And the whole goal of this show is to shine this, redirect the spotlight onto some of those great records, because sometimes the music industry only cares about it when it's in the last 6 months. So and getting shorter every day. So if you like what you hear, buy the record. They still have physical copies at larryandjoe.com. And you can also find their new record, which is excellent. It's Manos Panamericanos. And so you can get all their records. They have cool keychains, all kinds of cool merch and ways to support Larry and Joe. But all I know is you have to get the high-res files because
it sounds
as good as it sounds, however you are tuned in, whether it's on YouTube or on the podcast, it's going to sound even better if you get the high-res files or the CD. So
yeah, and one CD purchase is worth 10,000 streams or something. So it goes a long way to help Larry and Joe put gas in the car. And
more than that.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you done the math recently?
I don't think you can. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Do you? How much money do you get for 10,000 stream?
Yeah, I don't know, but I do know that it means so much to an artist when you buy their record, because not only do they actually get some money for it, their music's out in the world, and somebody actually has that artifact too. It's got this beautiful cover that you can display on your mantle. And you got the high res files, like Ellen said. When we're used to listening to music after it's been put through all kinds of processing, and we don't get to hear just the clear, beautiful sounds of acoustic instruments. Both of these guys are world-class musicians and playing amazing instruments, and you can really hear it when you dig in. And then we're all about the of that kind of geekery here at the Back Catalog Listening Party.
That's right. And I love that Rebecca had commented on that last tune. That the music made her feel like she feels after she eats a capacha. So, which I like that. And also Larry's wife chiming in to say, I remember Larry saying to me, I met a gringo that speaks more Spanish than me, and you won't believe the audience reaction when we performed together. So some
Wonderful.
Nice memories of those first shows with you two.
Yeah,
together.
this album takes us back to the beginning. It really was the freshness factor.
The Back Catalog Listening Party is brought to you by EFS Publicity. Founded by veteran publicist, promoter, DJ, and musician Ellen Stanley, EFS brings an artist's perspective to the table, working to help clients get to the next level in their career. Services include national and international media campaigns, radio promotions, tour press, crowdfunding, grant writing, and more. Get a quote or set up a consultation today at efspublicity.com. And if you joined the Back Catalog Listening Party a little bit late, tell us where you're tuned in from, if you're enjoying a beverage, what you're thinking of the music. If you have questions for Lottie and Joe, we'll get to as many as we can before the end of the show. The next tune that you picked to feature from this record, Nuevo South Train, is Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms, a tune that folks who know traditional acoustic music will probably recognize. Is there anything you want to say about your take on this tune?
Yeah, ¿qué queremos decir de Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms?
Rolling así, para mí fue mi primera aventura en el bluegrass.
Yeah, this was Larry's first venture into bluegrass.
Y
on the maracas.
Al hacerlo con las maracas fue algo que ya a mí dentro de mi cabeza sonaba.
Yeah. So he already heard bluegrass with maracas in his head, but this is the first song we did that on. Banjo and maracas is what we laid it down on, and vocals.
Yeah.
And then tú pusiste el contrabajo.
El contrabajo
y tocaste estilo muy latinizado.
Muy latino.
So he did like a very Latin bass, Caribbean bass concept, which I think works incredible with bluegrass. I always heard that in my head. I was like, you just play it like it's, calypso or cumbia or something, and it works perfectly. And then Charlie Hunter did this very tasteful, over the chorus is just the most tasteful guitar you could ever do. So the electric guitar, it's like a Telecaster sound. That's Charlie Hunter.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait to give it a listen. So Larry and Joe, Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
then I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay round the shack till the mail train comes back, then I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms. Well, where were you last Friday night while I was lying in jail? You walking the streets with another man, and you wouldn't even go my bail. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay round the shack till the mail train comes back, then I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms. I know your parents, they don't like me. They turn me away from your door. If I had my life to live over, I wouldn't go around there no more. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay around the shack till the mail train comes back, then I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms. Gonna lay around the shack till the mail train comes back, then I'll roll in my sweet baby's arms.
All right.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I always needed maracas on Roll in My Sweet Baby's Arms, but oh, muy bueno.
Oh, and that, you're right. That electric guitar just adds just that little bit of
Yeah. He's got like a thick vibrato
Mhm.
on it, and sounds awesome. Like the vibrato tele combinations. Charlie Smart. I didn't even realize it at the time, but I think he was like, sort of tipping his hat to cumbia guitar,
Mm.
which lays on that thick vibrato. It sounds awesome.
Mhm. And Kick chimed in to say the maracas in that are golden,
Totally.
which is true.
Las maracas son doradas.
So we've mentioned a bunch of instruments: harp, banjo, maracas, bass, guitar, fiddle. Am I leaving any out right now?
Well, we haven't heard it, and I'm not sure it's on any of the tracks that you're going to hear tonight. Larry also plays the cuatro,
Mm.
the Venezuelan cuatro. We do that a lot, and but on this specific album, I don't think there's any songs in which that's incorporated that meet the specifications of what we're allowed to do on a podcast. So,
Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to know what that is, what that instrument is. Could you explain that to me?
The cuatro?
a
Yeah.
cuatro is it's a descendant of the Spanish guitarrita, the Baroque Spanish guitar, and it took the shape that it now has in Venezuela. It's named after the number of strings it has in Spanish, a cuatro. So
Okay.
4-string. It's a little instrument. It looks like a baritone ukulele, sort of, but it has an ebony piece of wood up by the heel of the instrument, up by the fretboard rather, where you can hit it percussively. It's called a golpeador.
Hmm.
And it's a very interesting instrument. It's like the essence of Venezuelan folk music.
Awesome. Well, another reason to get the full record, folks, because then you can hear Larry playing that.
And I will say, if you see Lottie and Joe live, they tour with an impressive number of those instruments. I mean, I think most of the ones we mentioned
All of
come
them,
with you on
yeah.
the road. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we also have a baby elephant and a walrus that sit on stage as we play. So
Amazing.
in kitchen sinks. It all goes in the minivan. I'm just joking. We don't have that.
But I will say, it is amazing watching them, go back and forth on all these instruments, and making this music live together is really, really special. So if you can catch them live, do it. They're very busy. They're on tour. And I know they have a big show coming up at Joe's Pub in New York City, right?
That's right. On July 16th. We really want to promote that show. So if anyone has friends in New York, make sure
Send
they
them.
come to Joe's Pub. It's
my
not my pub. I promise.
So
Can
take
never
them.
afford that rent.
Take
And I don't
the-
drink, so
take the Nuevo train to Nuevo York and get to that show because that's going to be a good one. And it looks like Jesus joining us from Venezuela. So
Mira, Jesús Noriega, desde Madrid.
bienvenidos.
Oh.
Awesome.
So anyway, we are so happy to have you all joining us. Again, Larry and Joe joining us from North Carolina tonight to talk about their 2023 album, Nuevo South Train. You can pick up that album, their new album, all the merch, find the tour dates at larryandjoe.com. You want to throw in any comments or questions because this hour is going super fast.
It really is.
Way too fast. But before we get into the next song, we do want to take a moment to thank our Patreon community. These are the folks that have kept the show going for almost 5 years. What?
Tomorrow, I believe, is our 5-year anniversary.
Wow. And so this started as just a pandemic project to keep Tony and me out of trouble. And I don't know if it's worked, but we are still going strong and enjoying getting to know all these artists and dig into their back catalogs with all of you. If you would like to participate in the live tapings, then you'll want to join our Patreon and you'll get an invite to every single one. We want to thank Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Becky, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead Pick and Parlor, Severin, Lynn, Mary, Nikki, Joni, David, CJ, Wiley, Stephanie, Christy, Diane, Hetty, Sandy, Neighbor Ann BZ, Alyssa, and maybe you. If you would like to, again, join our Patreon, you can even sign up for free and just get notifications of what's coming up on the podcast. And then if you do any of the paid levels, you'll get an invite to the party and other special cool things like after parties, listening parties, and that while supplies last, that back catalog listening party pint glass, which is now empty.
Yes. Sign of a good conversation, for sure. And it just means so much to us and the independent artists that people are out there supporting this kind of independent music and musicians. Yeah.
We're really grateful. And we're really grateful that Larry and Joe were able to join us, take a break from their busy week in their residency, teaching to join us and dig back into these songs with us. And this next track you picked to feature is the one we were talking about, inspired by regional food. Maybe Lottie wants to talk a little bit about, or Joe, about what this food item is, cachapa.
¿Qué es una cachapa, papi?
Cachapa es una de las comidas típicas venezolanas.
Cachapa is a typical food of Venezuela.
Es hecha con el maíz tierno o verde.
You make it with what you call soft corn, green corn.
Y colocada como a la, digamos que, ¿cómo se dice eso? La plancha, hibachi.
Yeah, la plancha. It's cooked on a hibachi style grill. They're big disc, like big discs. They can come in various sizes, but the first one I had was at an outdoor festival, and they cook them on a hibachi style grill and they fold them over queso de mano, which is handmade cheese. It's they have different pasteurization laws in Argentina. That's where I lived. In Venezuela, they have different pasteurization laws. So I've been told that queso de mano is the most delicious cheese on earth. Anyway, and then it's Venezuelan soul food. They're delicious. It's like a sweet corn pancake with cheese in it. And Larry likes his. ¿Con qué te gusta la cachapa?
Me gusta con cochino frito.
He likes his with fried pork, which he likes to know is his favorite fruit.
Oh my gosh. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty hungry now.
I know. And I have a feeling we're going to get even more hungry after this tasty tune. So Larry's cachapa.
With a harp and fiddle.
Harp and fiddle. All right, let's give it a spin. Larry's cachapa here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're going to add our own after that one.
Oh, wow. Lottie and Joe here on the back catalog listening party with Larry's Cachapas and from their album Nuevo South Train, which we have been revisiting with Lottie and Joe joining us live from North Carolina. Oh, man, what a special tune. And I remember that was one of the highlights when I saw you guys live, that really just the crowd was so into it and folks were dancing to it. And that was something I actually was picking up even on from the first tune we listened to tonight. I don't know if there's a big tradition of dancing with Venezuelan folk music, but it feels like
big
all
time.
of these tunes are like ones you want to dance to.
Sí, esta música para gozarla bailando, ¿verdad?
Para estar alegre.
Like a menear. Yeah, it's dance music for sure. It's Caribbean people, they like to dance.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
man, we got some help on that track from our friends Nelson Echandia, one of Larry's buddies, a bassist, and then one of my friends from way back, Brevin Hamden, played all the percussion, and then an amazing percussionist, and then Larry's family did the callbacks. And
nice.
You can hear his little daughter at the very end say my name. Yo, it's cute.
So when you do that song live, do you try and imitate some of those callbacks?
We get the audience to do the callbacks.
Yeah, excellent.
So that's why it's fun. It's interactive. Our shows are very interactive. We get people dancing too. We tell a bunch of stories. It's a whole experience. So y'all come see a live show.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I mean, just the fun is translating through the recording. I can't imagine what it's like in the same room, and I hope to get a chance to experience that someday. And so should you folks. Go to larryandjoe.com and you'll find out when and where they are playing next, because you don't want to miss these guys. What a wonderful kind of marriage of cultures and folk musics. It really is seamless too. It somehow just seems like it's always been together, and I'm just blown away.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we love what we do. We're gonna keep doing it.
Excellent.
Good.
That's what we want. And if you like what you hear, make sure to buy their music, buy their merch, go to shows so that they can keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, Chris, Jocelyn, Connie, Rebecca, Christy says que fabuloso. Yeah, I mean, folks loving the music, and what a special hour. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Thanks for having us on.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
All
Gracias.
right.
Yeah, this has been a very special hour, and we in times like this, it's about being together in community. So special shout out to everybody who's out there supporting independent musicians, going to shows, and coming together and making the world a better place. So until next week, cheers to all of you, and keep supporting independent music.
Cheers.
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 Thanks for joining us on the Back Catalog Listening Party. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review, which helps more people discover our show and our guests.
And do you want to be a part of the live show, get a first look at upcoming guests, and receive invites to private online parties and live streams? Then join our Patreon community at backcataloglisteningparty.com.
Have a great week. We'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.